The rain wasn't falling, it was slamming sideways, sharp and relentless, when the black sedan rolled onto our street. I stood barefoot on the wet lawn, the emergency siren having already wailed 3 times in under an hour. The hurricane was closing in fast, less than 3 hours away. Through the front window, I saw my stepfather sealing the glass with thick strips of duct tape while my mother handed them to him. Neither of them looked outside, not once. The car stopped at the edge of the driveway. Its engine stayed running. The back door opened slowly, and the woman who stepped out didn't rush, didn't flinch at the rain pelting her face. She was 71, elegant, composed, and richer than anyone within miles. She looked at me, soaked, shaking, alone, then at the house. "Finally," she said. That was the night everything changed. The first time Daniel moved into our house, the sky had been clear, too clear, like a painting no one trusted. I was 13, sitting at the kitchen table, watching my mother cook like she had rediscovered something inside herself. My father had been gone just over a year. Daniel didn't knock when he arrived. He walked in carrying tools like he already belonged there. My mother smiled at him in a way I hadn't seen since before the funeral. It felt wrong to notice that. He said he was fixing the fence. By sunset, it was straight again, but painted gray. It had been green, my father's favorite color. I said nothing. That became my role. Daniel never shouted. That's what made him dangerous. He didn't break things, he erased them. Photos of my father disappeared one by one, first from the hallway, then the living room. By winter, the only picture left was one I hid in a book under my bed. He changed the phone number, told my mother it was for privacy. My aunt tried calling for weeks before giving up. Daniel said she didn't care anymore. He opened every piece of mail, controlled what I saw, what I knew. He decided which school I'd attend, which friends I was allowed to keep, when I spoke and when I stayed quiet. And my mother stood beside him, always calm, always agreeing. "He's doing what's best," she would say. I learned early, fighting cost energy and changed nothing. So I waited. The only thing I truly kept was my father's old watch. It ticked louder than it should have, a little cracked, but it still worked. I wound it every morning like it mattered, like it was proof something hadn't been taken, because everything else had. My father had built that house himself. Every corner, every wall. He used to say it wasn't just a house, it was a promise. After Daniel moved in, that promise turned into storage. My room became a supply space. My things were boxed up and moved to the smallest bedroom. I didn't complain. I saved my strength for something I couldn't name yet. My grandmother used to visit every Sunday. She brought pastries, told stories about business deals and mistakes and how to read people better than they read you. "Numbers don't lie," she once told me. "People do." Then one Sunday she didn't come. The next week, nothing. After a month, I stopped asking. Daniel told me she didn't want to see me anymore. I believed him. For 14 years. I found the truth by accident. I was 27, home early from work. The house was empty, rare, peaceful. I went into the storage room looking for old documents. Instead, I found a box filled with insurance statements. My father's name was on every one. I sat on the floor and read. The policy had been meant for me, a fund to access when I turned 25. I was already 2 years past that. Withdrawals had started before I was even eligible. Total $91,000, authorized by Daniel, signed by my mother. My hands didn't shake because of the money. They shook because of the betrayal. That night, I asked. We were at dinner, the storm warnings flashing across the TV behind us. "Where did the insurance money go?" Daniel didn't yell. He simply set down his fork. "This house," he said. "Everything you've had. You owe it." "It wasn't yours," I said quietly. He stood. "So get out." Just like that. My mother didn't stop him, didn't look at me. The door locked behind me. I stood in the rain for 11 minutes. I counted. I always counted when things felt like they might break me. Then headlights cut through the storm, the black sedan. The door opened, and there she was, my grandmother. She didn't ask questions, didn't hesitate. She looked at me, then at the house. Enough, she said. I got in the car. The hotel felt like another world, quiet, solid, untouched by chaos. She had already prepared everything: clothes, food, a room overlooking the raging coastline. How did you find me? I asked. A neighbor called, she said. Someone who never stopped talking to me. She looked at me carefully. I tried reaching you for years. I swallowed hard. I thought you didn't want me. Her expression didn't change, but something behind her eyes did. I was never given the chance. That night she told me the truth. The house wasn't my mother's. It never had been. It was held in a legal trust, created before I was even born. My father had lived there, but ownership passed to me after his death. My mother had the right to stay, but only under conditions. Conditions she had just broken. She abandoned you in a storm, my grandmother said calmly. That ends her rights. I stared at her, trying to process it all. And Daniel? She almost smiled. He owns nothing. The storm raged outside, shaking the windows. Inside, everything became clear. For years, she said, I waited. I followed the rules. I respected the legal boundaries. She leaned forward slightly. But now? Her voice sharpened. Now I take it back. I blinked. You mean legally? Yes, she said, and if necessary, completely. I didn't fully understand at first. Then she added, if they refuse to leave, I will have the house demolished and rebuilt. The words landed heavily, not emotional, not dramatic, just certain. Morning came quietly. The storm had passed, but something far more powerful had begun. I looked at her across the room. For the first time in years, I didn't feel small. What do you need from me? I asked. She didn't hesitate. Stand beside me. I nodded. Then I'm in. Some storms tear things apart. Others reveal what was already broken. That night didn't just change where I lived. It changed who I trusted, who I listened to, and who I became. Because sometimes the people who silence you the longest are the ones who fear your voice the most.